Welcome back.
Welcome. I'm Connie.
And I'm Angelica.
And this is
the In Between Girls podcast.
Woo!
How are you?
I'm okay. I haven't seen you in a month.
How was your birthday?
Oh, it was good. My leg hurt, but I took extra medicine. That sounds bad, but it said there
overdose?
No. It said 1 to 2 pills, and I took 2. So that means so it could chill me out. Yeah. And I was sitting with my leg propped up, so the blood, so the blood wouldn't rush down. So it wasn't that bad. It was good. It sucked because I couldn't drink because I'm taking my medicine, but at least I wasn't in that much pain. But it was hot. I feel like this year is one of the hottest years, or is it just me?
I feel like it's always been like that. It's only gonna get worse.
Cause I remember, well, maybe because I'm used to being here with the AC. I stepped out, it felt like hell.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this humidity? It feels stuffy. It feels stuffy. It feels just no. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, but I feel like it's always been like that. It's just. It's what's it hot? It's like it hits you.
Yes, as soon as you step out the door. But yeah, it was a good birthday. I feel like it was one of the first birthdays that I've thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh.
If you hear crying, my cat's fine. She has food, water, and a litter box, and she has a whole room and restroom to run around in, and a bed. She's fine.
She's not in jail.
No.
What else has happened?
Oh, yeah, what else? Oh, I had a surgery.
Oh, yeah, your surgery. A whole new surgery for your leg.
Yes, the 4th one. It was on Cinco de Mayo because, I'm Mexican or whatever. So they knew.
It was for good luck.
Yeah, it was good luck, literally. Yeah. It was the surgery I was most nervous for. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, you told me.
I was so scared. No.
Because it's because it could either go really good or really bad.
Yes.
Really quick.
Because basically my leg, it wouldn't straighten out all the way. It had a little bent in it, and it wasn't gonna be able to do it without the surgery.
It couldn't get straight and it couldn't bend all the way, right? Yeah.
So, without the surgery, it wouldn't have been able to straighten out. It wouldn't. They confirmed that to me. They were like, well, we saw in there, you were not going to be able to do it on your own.
Yeah.
So, it was crazy because when I went to the appointment, I was so scared and I was ready to say no to the surgery. So, I went in there, with Mario, and he was like, oh, yeah, I really want to do this, soon. And I was just like, well, can I think about it? Kid you not, we were in the parking lot and I called and I had said no, and I was like, I need to think about it. And so I was in the parking lot about to leave, and I called them. I was like, okay, yes. I had already left the fucking office, and I was like, you know what, okay.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're gonna do this next week. And then that week
was fast.
Yeah, but it's crazy because the 3rd surgery, we literally did it 2 or 3 days after when he told me he wanted to go back in. So for this one, he gave me a little bit more time. He gave me a week. So I was like, okay. And we went back. It was scary because he basically had to go in there and cut the scar tissue, and then he had to get all his strength, and another doctor who's also like him. He was a big man. He was big and strong, and I could tell even in the interview, in the consultation room, he the way he grabbed my leg, he was very aggressive, but that's how he is, because he's trying to see what the leg can do.
Yeah.
It was the most aggressive thing, but I know that's what he has to do. So I knew that he was strong. And so I was just like, oh my God, because he had told me there is complications. We could accidentally cut a vein. We could accidentally cut a nerve. We could accidentally break your leg again. He's like, it's had happened. He's like, unfortunately, 2 years ago it happened. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to break my leg. It's literally the worst pain I have ever been through. So I was like, imagine going through that again.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I can do that. So that's why I was scared, but I was like, I'm not going to forgive myself if I don't go through with it and try and recover as much as I can. Because I already felt insecure about the leg, because when I would walk, since it wasn't straight enough, estaba como coja. So it made me already feel insecure about it. And I was like, I'd rather do something about it than nothing, because then I'm going to blame myself, being like, why didn't you try? So whatever, I'm leaving this up to God, to the universe. Whatever happens is gonna happen. But it's crazy because me and Mario talked about it after. I thought I was gonna die. No bullshit, I thought I was gonna die.
Oh shit.
Because like it was my 4th surgery, and I felt like I had already asked God for too much. Like, I'm like, he already got me through 1, through 2, through 3. How is he gonna get me through a 4th? I felt like I was asking for too much. So I really like believed like I was gonna die, like something was gonna go wrong. And it was crazy because Mario went with me, obviously, and he told me after, he was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why I felt like you were gonna die. And he's like, and I would have felt so guilty. But I'm like, and I told him, I was like, I thought the same thing. Like, for some reason, I thought I was gonna die. Like, no jokes, like, I thought I was gonna die.
But I think that's what everybody would think,
no,
right?
Cause but before my other surgeries, I knew I was gonna make it out. And for some reason, in this one, I felt like I was gonna die. But I also knew I wanted to go through with it because I'd rather try than not try. So I kind of like accepted my fate. I was like, whatever happens. Like, at this point, at least I tried. And I did not have, like, I was trying to have good vibes so that it would go well. But I was also like, man, it's gonna break for sure. Oh my God. And I remember I woke up, and the first thing I said to the nurse, or I don't know, whoever she was, I was like, did it break? And she was like, no. I was like, okay, this is all I need to know. Because I was just looking at her, I was like, did it break? It broke, didn't it? She was like, no. And I was like, okay. She was like, it went really well. I was like, no way. Yes. So everything went well, guys. Spoiler alert. I'm okay. I'm alive.
Okay. And now from now, like, what is your next move?
I'm still recovering. They had a little nerve block on my leg, which helped with pain. I had like a little purse that I would carry around, and it would pump medicine in. I think I had it in for like 3 days, and I had like all my meds, and I ran out of some meds. And at first I was like, wow, like, and it's not really that bad pain. And until I ran out of the meds, I still had like I was feeling really bad pain, like really bad. Like, I was like, what did I do? Like, now it hurts worse than it did before I had the surgery. And I had an x-ray done, and while it was still hurting, right, I went to an appointment, and my doctor was like, he came in really happy. He was like, oh my God, it looks so good. Like, it's recovering very well. And he's like, and the other doctor texted me when he was done. He said he was really happy. And I was looking at him like upset. Well, not really upset, but I had days that I had not been able to sleep because the leg was keeping me up. Las ojeras and everything. And I was just like, I can't sleep. I'm in pain. And he was like, what? And I was like, yes, like, I can't sleep. And it was hurting really bad when I bent. And so he went back to look at the x-ray to see if something happened. He missed it. He was like, it looks good. And he just gave me more pain meds. And I told my therapist about it. I'm like, look, when you bend, it hurts really bad in this spot. And she did this little exercise. It's crazy how, I know it's their career, but it's crazy how they know what's wrong. And she did the little thing, and I do it to myself now, but she taught me how to do it. And basically the joint was really stiff, and that's why it was hurting when I was trying to bend it. And so ever since I started doing that, it doesn't hurt anymore. And like, it straightens all the way now, well, to 0 degrees. We're trying to make it a little bit less than 0 so we could get like more normal, but I'm having issues with bending, and we're working on it. He told me that he ideally wanted to bend to like 130 or something like that, but right now it's bending to like 100. And so we're gonna work on it. He doesn't want any more surgeries. Hopefully no more surgeries, but he says that I have to really work on it to get it to go all the way, because we're obviously not happy where it is now. Yeah. So, not saying that there isn't going to be another surgery, but if it doesn't bend all the way, there is a possibility. But I'm hoping it doesn't. I've been working really hard. I go 3 times a week to therapy and taking my pain meds. I work on it every day. So that's where I am now. It straightens, which is good. It's just not wanting to bend all the way.
That's crazy.
And then it sucked because I went through a really dark time. It was like a couple of days before my birthday. I remember because I've been very optimistic. I was very like, oh, I'm getting there, I'm working on it, blah blah blah. And I don't know, it just hit me when I was at the therapist, and I was doing a workout, and they were a little bit further away from me, and I started to like cry. Like, I was hyperventilating, and I was like, no, you're not about to cry in here. Like, people are, So I like stopped myself from crying, but I was like in tears. I came home and I cried because it hit me like my leg is never gonna be the same. And I was like, I'm never gonna be the same. Like, am I always gonna be in pain? like, will it ever bend? Like, it's crazy because I'm so young and my leg is never going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks. Like, I don't know. It feels lonely. I don't want to cry. Yeah, like, it sucks that, like, nobody can relate. And it's like, I'm in pain. I've been in pain for like 6-7 months. And it's like really bad, intense pain. And then people who don't know always tell me, well, yeah, it's going to hurt, but you have to push through it. And it's like, it's so easy for you to say that when you're not the one in pain. But it's been pain that I've never experienced in my life. Like, it's like the worst pain. But, you know, I got back into like my positive mood. And I'm like, I'm going to get this leg to fucking bed because pain did get better. Because right now the scars look really small, but it's like what people don't understand is the injury is inside. Like, it's healing inside because they went in there and cut inside. So de afuera se mira like, oh, it's a small cut, but it's like the injury, I guess, está adentro. So like that's what's healing inside. So that's why it hurts really bad. But I'm trying to be positive again and like just keep going and try to recover. I mean, if anything, I'm just happy that it's straight now. And you were saying it looks more normal. So
it does.
So that makes me happy. Because I fucking hate when people, like, has been people that are like, you're still injured? Like, you haven't recovered? I'm like, you don't know what it's like. Like, you don't know what it's like to break your leg there where I broke it. Like, it's one of the worst, like, pains. The doctor told me this is the worst place you could have broken any bone. Like, it's bad. And because then people are like, oh, you just had it in a cast and then you're normal, right? I'm like, I fucking wish. But yeah, it's so frustrating. People are like, you're still injured? Like, all this time? And I'm like, I wish I wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my fault. Like, sometimes it makes me feel like they think I'm not putting in the effort, which makes me angry because they don't know that this is my life every day. Like, I work on the leg every day. There's no like, oh, today I'm not going to work on it because it's going to get stiff. So I have to work on it. So yeah, so everybody never fucking tell someone who's recovering from anything why they're not there yet, because that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
Because people be saying, and I'm like, shut up. Like, if you were, I wish, like, I don't wish this on anybody, but I wish for a second I could trade places so they could feel the pain I feel and then to get them to shut up because it's so annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still dealing with that. Sorry, I went on a tangent, but yeah.
No, but it's what's happening to you right now.
Yeah, literally my life the past 6-7 months.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's already been a while.
And like, I never thought this would happen to me. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah.
So my advice to y'all, never say something will never happen to you. And also, don't brag about the fact that something has never happened to you. Because a week before, I was bragging to Mario that I had never broken a bone. And a week later, I broke it.
That's karma for you.
Yeah. I was literally like, I'm never saying that shit again.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody does something, I'm like,
don't say that.
Don't say that.
But yeah, it's.
But yeah, what have you been up to?
Oh, nothing.
Same old.
Yeah,
work.
Same old. Literally just.
Wait, are you gonna tell us about what happened at the office to you the other day?
Oh my ghost encounter.
Yes.
This was kind of weird. It literally happened Thursday, 2 days ago. It was kind of weird. It creeped me out, honestly. Because where we work at, it's like cubicles, right? So mine's like the first one, and then behind me there's another one. And beside me there's like 3 more. But I was working, and there's a girl that sits the cubicle behind me. So it's a lady, and I'm over here working, and I clearly heard my name, like in a soft woman voice, but I was listening to a podcast. I only had one AirPod in, like I always have only one AirPod in, because again, I want to hear what's going on around me, but I had one AirPod in. The AirPod was on my right side, my right ear. So, how do I describe my cubicle? It's basically like an upside down L, right? So it's a regular L is like that. It's like upside down. Like the small part is in front of me, and there's like this long part beside of me on my left side. So, and my computer is kind of in the corner of it. So I'm sitting there. So there's this big empty side on my left side. And then it connects to the other cubicle. So I heard this on my left side. I clearly heard Angelica. So I thought I heard it. So I paused my podcast that I was listening to, and I thought to myself, oh, the lady behind me called me. But then I wasn't sure. So I paused it and I stayed quiet for a little. I even stopped working. I was like, she's gonna call me again. And so it took me a minute, and she didn't call me again. So I was like, oh, well, let me ask her. I don't want to be rude. Like, if she called me, I don't want her to think that I'm ignoring her or something. So I got up. I went over to look over her cubicle, and she's sitting there. And I asked her, I was like, hey, did you call me? And she's like, no. She goes, no, why? And I was like, because I clearly heard my name. And she goes, oh no, that wasn't you. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I thought I heard you, like you talking to yourself, like you mumbling to yourself. And I was like, oh hell no, that was not me.
Was it just you two in that room?
Oh, it was us two. On the opposite side, there was another lady. On the third row, there was another guy. And I mean, wait, how does it go? One, I'm in the second row, right? Me and the other girl in the second row. And then on the other side, there's another line of cubicles. And then there's another one, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So there's another person on the fourth one. And I think that the person on the third one came in, but I don't think he was on his desk. And what got us is that the fact that she confirmed that she heard something, and she clearly told me it was like a soft lady voice, right? And I was like, oh, that's literally when I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I was like, oh no. Like, I literally even grabbed my head, and the other lady heard it. She's just like, what? We're like, what's going on? And we told her what happened, and she's like, what? I was like, the fact that it's not just me.
Yeah.
Because usually if something happens to me like that, I just play it off. I'm like, whatever.
It's me hearing things.
Yeah, literally. But the fact that somebody confirmed it, like literally behind me, I was like, oh hell no, I could not. I was literally shaking. I was like, oh, I can't. So I told my mom that day que me barriera, and she me barrió the next day. Yeah. But
good. Yes,
yeah.
It's creepy. When I used to be able to drive, I drove. I was always the first person there, and I was the one who turned on the lights. I always found it creepy.
I never felt uncomfortable in there. Never.
I did. I didn't feel like uncomfortable. I just found it creepy.
I never find it creepy or comfortable. Obviously, during COVID, there was times where I would go in and nobody was in the office except the warehouse person, and I never felt uncomfortable. I never felt like nothing at all, except this one time. Yeah, this one time. And fun fact, now my boss makes fun of me
because you hear the
yeah, he was like, woo, a ghost.
He goes,
let me show you what he
Angelica.
sent. That's what he sent me. He literally sent me like a GIF. It says, I'm a ghost, and it's a person with a bed cover over a white bed cover over them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is my boss for you. But yeah, that was some scary shit.
That is scary, but it doesn't surprise me that it happened to you.
Oh, dude, I don't know. A week before that, I had a weird dream. I had a dream that they were haunting me on my house, like in the house that I'm living in. That there's like an entrance that goes like between the sala and my room. In my dream, it was only on that space. Like, I was standing there, like in the entrance, and somebody like grabbed my hand. Ugh. And then, oh, dude, that day, I think it was after. If I'm not mistaken, it was after. No, it had to be a weekend, because I think I had fell asleep and I hadn't taken a shower yet, but I fell asleep and I dreamt that I was in the middle of that entrance and somebody hold my hand, and so I was scared, and I told my mom in my dream. I told my mom, and then it moved on to me like I wanted to go to the restroom, but for some reason I didn't want her to go alone. So I was telling my mom like, come with me. And when I was telling her to come like with me, I was in that little space, in that little entrance, and somebody picked up my shirt. Ugh. And dude, never have I had a dream where I'm scared, like scared. Yeah. And I remember having that dream, and Jose had called me. So he called me, and so that woke me up, and I was like, oh my God, like thank God you fucking called me, because I was actually scared in my dream. Because I don't know, it was like I never had that kind of dream before. Like I don't know,
you're that scared.
Yeah, when I'm scared. Ugh. Like I don't know, I was like, I literally told Jose, I was like, thank God you called me, and that woke me up.
Because you didn't want to be in that dream.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to be in that dream. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad. Like, I feel like chills. Dude, I don't know what's happening.
That's very scary.
Yeah, I don't know how to take it.
But yes, I'm not surprised that happened to you.
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
don't know what's crazy no more.
You're like Miss Paranormal. ¿Cómo te barrió with an egg?
No, she did. I believe it's called Piedra de Lumbre. It's like a small little crystal rocky thingy. It's kind of clear white.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a clear white rock crystal, something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you about that later. Okay, so today's theme is friendship breakups. And I looked up some stories, and
first off, have you had any friendship breakups that are like bad?
Not bad that we argued. No, not is that what you mean? Like that we argued? No, not when we broke up. That sounds weird.
Yeah. Before that,
kind of, yeah. But my first ever, I thought I would tell a story of my first ever. It was in kinder.
Okay.
And I was mad at her. Basically, we were in kinder, and you know how you had the little vasitos, the happy face or whatever, or sad face. I was always the happy face. I was a good kid. And we were playing, with with this puzzle, but era like the type of puzzle que es como foamy.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay.
And we were just playing around, and we were both pulling on it, and it broke. And you know what my best friend did? She snitched on me. And they got me into the sad face vaso. I was crying.
Oh, no.
I was so upset. It was like betrayal. It was my first friendship betrayal. I was like, how dare you? We could have kept it a secret, bitch. But I forgive you. But yeah, that was my first one. I was like, how dare you? I was crying. I had never been in the sad face vasito. It was very traumatizing. I'm kidding.
My God. Okay.
Yeah, that was my first one.
I feel like this is my only one, because I stopped talking to people, but it's mostly like, I don't know,
like you grew apart. Yeah.
It wasn't like nothing serious.
That's something I wrote.
This one is also not serious.
Yeah.
But I think it was like in first grade. There used to be this girl that I was like really close to, best friends, right? So I don't know how he went about it, because I think it was us two and two other girls that we would hang out, but this particular girl, like we were best, like, like best friends. I don't know how I went about it, but I think she told me that she didn't want to be my friend.
What did you do?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I think she was just a bitch. Anyways.
Why?
I don't know. So, listen, I think she told me that, and I think that day, my parents would will pick me up, not by car, right? Like they would get off and pick me up. So we would go to the teachers will walk us to the front, right? And then your parents come and whatnot. I think that specific day, my parents were a little bit late, so there was like less people, right? So we were just waiting there, and then I see my mom, and then I go to her, and then I just start like crying.
Aww.
I just start crying, and she's like, "What's wrong? Like, what's wrong? Like, is something hurting you? Like, what happened? Like, I'm not leaving until like you tell me what happened, because like, what if I have to go talk to the teacher or whatnot?" Yeah. And I told her, "Es que her name, no quiere ser mi amiga."
Oh, that's so sad.
And she hugged me, and she was like, "Oh, come on." And we left the school. We left the school. But then I think the next day or a few days later, I think I how you went about it? I don't even remember, but I think I told her, okay, like I don't want to be your best friend anymore. And I don't know if she told the teacher, because I remember the teacher calling us, both of us, right? Going both of us, and she's like, what do you know, like what is happening, like what, like do you want me to send you to the counselor or something? And I told her, no, like we're okay. And she was like, and the teacher was like, well, just okay. And she looked at the other girl and she was like, just because she's saying like it's okay doesn't mean that it's okay. Like what do you think? I think she said it was okay. But that bitch, whatever.
Did you ever become friends with her again? Or
I think so. Yeah, I think we're still friends.
That's so funny.
But yeah,
I don't want to be friends with you anymore. That did happen to me as well. I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade. I don't even know why, but I think somebody did tell me they didn't want to be my friend, but I don't really remember. I think I blocked it out. But this is funny how that happened.
Yeah, but I think that's only like literally the only friendship that was like, oh,
that you had, that they told you, I want to be your friend.
Yeah,
I don't think
I've never told.
Yeah, well, told someone
except her the next day when I told her I don't want to be your friend either, and then she snitched me out to the teacher. But yeah, can't handle it. I couldn't either, but whatever. I just snitched to the teacher.
Handle it? Yeah. To cry?
I didn't snitch to the teacher though.
Oh my god. So I'm gonna read. You know me, the greatest reader. I'm gonna read. They're like small, but it has things we could talk about.
Okay.
Little stories from Reddit. So this is the first one. It says, ladies, can we talk about friendship breakups? I feel so alone. My bestie of 15 years plus and I broke up in 2020. And I'm honestly still not over it. Mainly because to this day, I still have no idea what happened. I didn't get closure and it was a slow drift. The worst kind of breakup. That's what she put. I have so much sadness and resentment. We did everything together and took very long vacations, so all my memories are with her. We've been to over 20 countries together. I also am struggling to move on because we share a pretty close friend group. There's 6 of us and 4 of us don't know what happened and they choose not to choose sides. She's closer to me. Who's closer to you? Okay, one of them is closer to her, and there's another one that's closer to the other best friend.
Oh, okay.
And it says, and both of them are sort of in the middle. I introduce her to all these girls too, so that also adds to this thing. She resents her for keeping them as friends, but wanting her out of her life. I'm just so sad. Can anyone relate? And yes, I've tried to talk to her about this many times and everything. And she always says we're fine and nothing's wrong. We even went on a few walks together towards the end of things, but it just felt so weird.
Wonder if she's dating one of her exes.
Oh my god, you think?
Yeah.
That would be so shitty of her. She is.
Yeah.
I think the worst part is that she's not even telling her. When why? She's telling her, like, I feel weird. Like
one of the girls in the group knows why.
Yes, and she needs to talk to her and tell her.
But none of them want to say why.
But it's so shitty that they've been friends that long and she's not. She's asking her like, hey, like what happened? Yeah. And she's like, nothing. It's like weird.
That is a little
like weird. I feel like if they've been friends long enough where you should try and work on your friendship and be like, hey, this bothered me if something did bother her.
No, all of what, I think there were 6.
Yeah,
including
there's 6.
them. Do they not hang out anymore together?
It just says that. Well, there's 6 in total, including them. So there's 4. One of them's closer to her and one of them's closer to the other one. Apparently, they are still friends. That's all it says.
Well, it can also be like she may not like find a common bond with her anymore. Like maybe a phase, like in their life phase that they're going to, they may not relate to it anymore.
Like they grew apart?
Yeah.
That's true.
Because I know in high school I really had a good, really, really close friend. And, you know, like she created her whole family and I just didn't relate to her in that sense. Like I couldn't, you know, be there for her in that sense because I just didn't know what she was going through. And I was like young too. Like, I don't know. Like it's just, we just grew apart. It happens.
Yes. It does. Sometimes things just fizzle out or they just, you stop talking and it gets to a point where you never talk again.
Yeah.
Or feel
And
like
it could be that girl also feels weird, like, talking, like...
to you about it.
Uh-huh.
That's true, because it is awkward. Because I feel like it can be awkward, because it's like, it is a relationship, obviously, but it's like, you're so used to, like, the romantic and the friendship that it's like, when you have to talk about it,
yeah,
it feels weird. It does feel weird, and it feels awkward.
Yeah.
That is true. So, the second one, it says, closure from a friendship breakup. It's basically a discussion. It says, to preface this, me and my best friend met about 4 years ago. We did everything together, and we were each other's only friend. Is this us? Right? We had mutual friends together, but they would come and go. But it was just me and her. We did have our issues, but she was like a sister to me. Anyways, about a month ago, we got into a really bad fight, and she said we needed a break. I was already struggling at the time, and it really pushed me to a breaking point. I know it might sound biased, but without going into much detail, the fight was not in any way my fault. I have always given her the benefit of the doubt no matter what she did that was hurtful to me. I tried reaching out a couple times, but she would just respond with 1 or 2 word responses, which was upsetting. She now doesn't text me back whatsoever. I don't know what to do. All of our mutual friends took my side, but I just want to be friends with her again. It sucks, but she doesn't care. I never got closure on what happened, which really took a toll on my mental health. Do I keep trying to fix things with her, or do I let it go? Thanks.
I want to know what the fight was about.
Me too. Because, I mean, that could be a major, like, role into why she's upset with her.
Yeah, because she said that it wasn't her fault. So...
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's, again, communication.
Yeah.
Just like in a romantic relationship, I feel like there should be communication in friendships. Because, see, now, okay, this girl is trying, but then the other one doesn't try. And it's like, if you're not going to try, just tell her you don't want to be her friend, which is, I know it sounds bad.
Yeah, but you kind of have to tell her so she can move on.
Yes. She did say that other friends took her side. But I don't know.
I wonder if the other friends still talk to this girl.
Oh, that's true.
Since they took the other girl's side.
That's true. I feel, again, communication. I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah,
Communication. And then this is just a little comment, but it says, yes, I had to break up with a rather close friend of 8 years. It was tough, but she was an asshole, getting more toxic over the years, so it started to take a toll on my mental health. Sometimes I still miss our inside jokes, though. And I'm like... I feel like friendship breakups are, like, way harder than relationship, especially because they don't communicate. Well, these girls, like, they're not communicating.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if it was something that could have been fixed? Or what if she just needed some space, but she should have also said that? And then they're never speaking to each other again.
Yeah, that is true. I'm like,
You're like, how could we have fixed this?
Yeah, it's because it's kind of, like, weird not knowing the problem.
True, they don't share the fight. I feel like that would play a major role into what happened and how you could fix things. Because just saying that,
because maybe you, like, that girl, whoever's writing, maybe you need to apologize.
Maybe you messed up and you're not seeing what you did.
Yeah,
that's true.
Then again, like, sometimes you just grow apart. Like,
yes, I feel like that's what happens most of the time. You grow apart and
you're
in part of life.
Yeah, and sometimes you're like in a different phase of your life. That maybe you're not connecting or whatnot. I don't know. It's just sometimes you just fall apart.
Yes. So there's a list. Somebody posted because everybody's like asking for advice. So I'm gonna read these bullet points. Okay. And it basically said, I've never been in a relationship, but I'm pretty sure that friend breakups are a lot worse than regular breakups. It says, when you aren't sure that they're even your friend in the first place. I guess they're like putting in what they think is worse. Oh, they're listing why they think it's worse. Because that's true, because at least in a relationship, it's over. I'm breaking up with you. And in friends, if you just grow apart, it's like why? Weird limbo. Yeah, are we friends? Are we not? That is true. It's like when you think back on it and think it was probably just one-sided. Like it was just you in the friendship. When you secretly had a crush on them.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. That got spicy.
Wow. Ooh, that's a little...
Yeah.
Huh.
I've never had a crush on my friends that I broke up with. No. When you have to see the friend every day, even still after you want nothing to do with them. I think this is more like school.
In school.
That's true. That would suck.
That's awkward. Yeah,
that's very
kinda
awkward.
Yeah.
This is when you lose even more friends because they're also friends with your ex-friend. That sucks.
Yeah, that is
I feel like in that situation, they should remain mutual.
They should
Because
like,
if you share friends, like, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Unless she did like something really bad.
Yeah,
But this is when people come up to you and say, "I know your ex's friend's name here aren't friends anymore," and you're just, what do you say? Like, "Oh, why aren't you friends anymore?" The fuck do you say to that? Yeah, like they're asking why.
Oh,
that's a hard question, especially if you don't know why. If you just grew apart, you're like,
I would just say, I don't know. I just stopped talking. That is weird.
I found one. My worst friend breakup was with this girl named, I'm gonna call her Laura. She was one of the most incredible people in my life, and at the time I didn't realize it fully. She was best friends with me and a girl I was dating at the time. I was like, this is gonna get messy.
Yeah.
Okay. When we broke up, Laura tried to be my friend. I unfortunately acted like a child, in parentheses, I was one, and vilified my ex and was pretty much, to keep it G, a prick. She decided to stop talking to me, and I never forgot it. I never forgot her. I wore the bracelet she had given me until it broke 6 years later. I wanted to cry. I never could get over Laura. She would drift into my mind occasionally, and the memories of the three of us would resurface. Perhaps this is why I couldn't, because it was unfortunately my fault and never had to happen. Fast forward 8 years, I'm best friend with my ex and hang out with her and her boyfriend regularly. I think he's pretty rad, and I have seen Laura twice now, and we plan to hang out soon. Be mindful of how you treat others. If you are no longer friends with someone because you were toxic to them or vice versa, then it is best for them, and perhaps when you both grow as individuals, things will change one day. I guess what she's saying is that she was toxic by saying all of that stuff about her ex-friend, that she lost another friend. And she's reconnecting with her now. So I guess she's giving advice.
What's it called?
She was bad-mouthing her ex-friend, so her other friend left her as well.
Ooh.
Yeah. But at least she learned from it.
Yeah, that is true. That is weird. Have you watched the Kissing Booth? Well,
tell me the tea.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. But basically, it's these two ladies, right? They were best friends. They grew up. They had their own kids, right? Their kids. It was a girl and a boy, and they became like best friends, like really, really close friends. They grew up together. So the girl had another brother, a little younger, little boy, like 8 or 10. And then the boy had a older brother, right? Maybe like a couple of years, maybe like, I don't know, like 3 years apart or so, right? So the best friends, the boy and the girl, they grew up very together, and they had a list of basically rules, right? Like, don't do this. Like, it was like childhood kind of, like, don't, like, one of them was like, if you ever mad at each other, like, buy each other ice cream or something like that. But one of them was, the boys did, don't date my brother, like the boy and brother, right? So it was a list of rules that they had, that they did when they were little, that they kind of followed growing up. And so they started high school, right? And so the girl ended up being
I already know where this is going.
The girl ended up being like attracted to the older brother, right? And the older brother was very much like, like football star, kind of in a way protected the girl from the other side, because their moms were best friends, so they hang out. So the older brother would protect her, his brother, but the brother kind of didn't like him like that, because he kind of like overshadowed him, because he's a
big strong one.
Yeah, right. So the girl ends up like tries to like has a crush on him, right? And then it turns out, end of the story, whatever. They turns out that the older brother also had a crush on the brother's best friend, right? So, the girl was very like conflicted because it was that the rule not to date his brother, right? So somehow they end up kissing, right? The older brother and the girl. So they end up kissing, and then she like stops it and she's like, oh no, I can't do this, right? So she leaves. But then the guy kind of tries to pursue her, and they end up like dating but hiding it from everybody else, right? So it's just like they end up hanging out like after school or whatnot. And so the best friend starts to notice like, oh my god, like we're not spending a lot of time together and whatnot. And he actually finds a girl too. The guy best friend, he ends up finding a girl too, but she never tells him that she's dating her brother. The sister and the older brother were hanging out, you know, and because he was known to be like aggressive, they were, I think, fixing his motorcycle, and the girl tried to get a tool for him, and it fell on her head, and she had like a cut. So her best friend comes in, and he's like, did you hurt her? And he's like, no. So the other brother starts being like aggressive, like, you think I would actually hurt her or something like that. And so the girl kind of is the one that kind of not controls, but kind of tries to calm the older brother down. And so the best friend sees that, like, how are you able to, like, you know, calm him down? So he realized that they're dating. And so he gets like really, really mad. He gets really mad, and he's like, you shouldn't have done that and whatnot. And I was like, oh no. So he stops talking to her like as a friend, right? And so she also breaks up with the brother because, again, like, he doesn't want to like cause any like trouble.
Her best friend.
Yeah. So the best friends end up like fixing their relationship, but the best friend tells them, you cannot date my brother, like, at all.
Why?
Exactly, right? But like, apparently, like, the girl and the brother had a really good relationship, right? Like, it was going somewhere. But he says, like, if you want to be my best friend, you cannot, like, basically telling her to choose between the best friend and the brother. And I was like, how do you do that?
Yeah, honey, I was going to say, what would you even do? I don't know.
Yeah, like, if you really like this guy, and it's like...
and it feels like it's going somewhere, but then it's like your best friend. That's hard.
Yeah, that is hard. But they ended up, like, fixing it or whatever. So she was able to keep both of them.
You go, girl.
Yeah. But I feel like there's times where it's like, I seen TikToks where like, oh, like, I dated my brother's best friend or something like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does work out and sometimes it doesn't. It's just like, ooh.
But in those situations, why are people, is it because they don't want to mix it, or
What do you mean? Why what?
like why they're against like their friend dating their family member?
I think because it could end wrong, and then it's like they have to choose a side.
True.
You know? And like, if they're really like best friend, you know, they may have come over for dinner, they might have like for like do events or whatnot, and they're there, but because they may have ended in a bad place, he can no longer come, you know.
You have a point.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard. Like,
that is a hard one.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. I don't know. I would be like, ooh.
yeah, it's a little tough situation.
Okay, so I also wanted to read something I saw on Facebook. Emily Mitchell wrote this, and it says, folks are drowning in life and y'all are mad over not getting a text back. One thing I'll never do is put my friends in a position to feel like my access has regulations. I don't care if you take 3 weeks to text me back. I'm glad you finally did. I don't care if you're active on Facebook but not hitting me back. I'm glad you're getting to socialize. Y'all put entirely too much pressure on folks to show up and be present when they're barely showing up for themselves.
True.
So that brings me back. There's some friendships that have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Like what she was saying in that post, like some people feel like they have a right to of your time, basically, like, oh, you have to talk to me every day or we're not friends. And we've never been like that.
No.
Never. We've literally gone months without speaking and then come back like nothing happened, because literally nothing happened other than life. But I feel like there is people who take that personally.
Yeah. But what do you want me to say? Like, oh, I did nothing today. Like,
yeah. And it's like she said, like, we don't have the like time. We don't have the like effort. Like, we don't have the energy.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just need energy for yourself, and you just want to lay in a bed and not talk to no one.
Yeah.
Like, I've never understood that mindset, but I don't think I could be friends with someone like that, because I'm sorry, I can't talk to you every day at all times. Like, it just, I can't. It takes too much energy from me. And it's like, we're adults. Like, I kind of get people having the mentality in high school when you text all day, every day. That's, I feel like, the most acceptable one I've seen. But other than that, like, no, it's too much.
Yeah.
Like, it adds a big pressure, because I've seen that happen to different people. Así que they're like, oh, you're not texting me back. Like, you're fake, blah, blah. And it's like, they're not fake.
Life happens.
Life is happening.
Yeah.
Like, they have things to do. They have things, like, they're dealing with. Like, you're not someone's whole life. Unless you're like married, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're just like friend, I don't know. It just, I've never understood that mentality, but I feel like that happens a lot, and I see it a lot on social media. Like, I see people posting like, if you haven't talked to me like in a week, like, don't bother, like, blah blah. And I'm like, why are you taking it so personal?
Yeah.
Like, to
you're
me,
not the center of attention.
honestly, to me, you could reply to me months later. I'll continue your conversation.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I'm like, okay, you replied, bet here's what I have to say to you. And I don't mind double texting you, because what if I have something else to say? I'll be like, okay, you don't have to reply, but I have this other question. And it's because I'm like, yeah, she probably doesn't have the energy. She's busy, whatever.
Sometimes I just forget, honestly.
Yeah, and then that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I'm like, that's fine. She doesn't have to reply. That's the only reason I double text you if I have another question. But I'm like, I need you to answer this. But other than that, I'm not like, why aren't you texting me back, Angelica?
Yeah, that is true.
Like, that's never been us. And I feel like there is a big one. I see a lot of people go through that, and I don't know. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like that post said, people are barely showing up for themselves to be showing up for other people.
Yeah. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. But that's basically it. If y'all have any more questions regarding this or something else, you can let us know on our Instagram at the In Between Girls podcast.
Yeah, you can listen to us on Spotify, at Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Leave us a review. Rate us.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. Rate us.
Yeah, I post polls on Instagram, so please go by and answer the polls. My bad.
Okay, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.